It's a beautiful day on the north side of Chicago. Sun shining, mild temperatures, wind blowing in slightly from the north. It's a Hyundai leadoff man on WGN Sports. Game one of a day-night doubleheader. This is a makeup game from a rainout on May 15th. The Cubs hosting the Giants. And hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper. Welcome to the leadoff man as the Cubs welcome in the NL West leading San Francisco Giants. The Cubs won yesterday. We'll get the highlights here in a second. The Giants 2 games up in the West. They've won 5 in a row. This is a second consecutive makeup date. The Cubs were supposed to be off yesterday, but they made up a rainout from late April against the Rockies. Matt Garza on the mound, and he gives up an opposite field leadoff home run in the first inning to Carlos Gonzalez. It's 1-0 Rockies. But the Cubs would come right back in the bottom of the first. Starlin Castro's been red hot, a triple with 2 outs off the ivy, and that would set up Aramis Ramirez, who would come up with a 2-run homer. Cubs would lead 2-1. They would not trail the rest of the day. That was off the red-hot Jhoulys Chacín, who just didn't have it. Carlos Pena takes him deep, his 15th of the year. 3-1 Cubs in the 4th. 5th inning now. Cubs already leading 4-1. Pena again. He goes oppo. A 2-run shot. And the Cubs leading 6-1. Now in the 7th, just adding a little more. 7-2 here as Ramirez bangs that one off the roof on the batter's eye lounge in center. So 2-homer day for not only Ramirez but Pena as well. Matt Garza was excellent. 7 1/3, 5 hits. He allowed 3 runs. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 6, did give up 2 solo home runs, but again, the offense really helped out the veteran right-hander. So he grabs his 4th win. Chacín drops to 8-5. Over 40,000, a paid crowd, 3 hours and 3 minutes. As we go to break, our Chicago and Northwest Hyundai dealer spotlight reminds us to check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Hyundai Elantra at myhyundai.com. Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Elantra at myhyundaichicago.com. Good news on the minor league rehab front. Darwin Barney should be back with the Cubs tomorrow. Marlon Byrd starting his stint with AAA Iowa. He got hit by a pitch last night in the left shoulder, and he said that's something he actually needed. Remember, he went on the DL because he was hit in the face by a pitch in Boston. So hopefully Marlin will be back within the next week or so. Let's hear from his manager, Mike Quade, about getting hit by a pitch last night. He's not so sure it's a good thing.
It's never a good thing when someone gets hit. I mean, it's. I don't know. No, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear anything bad come out of it yesterday. Okay, good. Well, then I'm glad for that.
He said actually it was a positive.
Marlin
he needed it.
Well, yeah. Good. Okay, good. Then that's great. It was in where did he get hit?
The shoulder.
Okay, because we were 2 for 2 on getting hit above the shoulders, and that's not good. So, okay, so all right. Well, the funny thing is, we sent him out, and he's getting started, so we'll monitor that. I didn't hear that. I was more concerned to see how Barney was. He'll play simultaneously. Is that the right word? He'll play while we're playing. He'll play a day game, I think, in Des Moines, and we should know that he comes out of that healthy after 3 at bats. That he'll be back here tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. But
you can get him back for the night? No, he's not eligible.
No, we got to wait till tomorrow. So otherwise, don't think I wouldn't be thinking about it. So
you put Barney right back in the lineup tomorrow, or
he will be if he's healthy and everything's fine. Yeah, we'll look for him. And look, we're playing 2 games today. It's a long day for people, and that works out even better. He'd be back in there 99% sure anyway. But we'll look to give some guys a break tomorrow.
That's Mike Quade. Time now for Bob's AutoZone tip of the day. That's what Ernie says. Let's play 2. Tip of the day brought to you by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone. Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Elantra at myhyundaichicago.com. We've got the pitching matchup for both games. Game 1, actually a rematch from May 14th. Rain shortened as Ryan Vogelsong got the complete game as he bested Doug Davis in his Cubs debut. Later tonight, it'll be left-hander Barry Zito coming off the DL, his first start in almost 2.5 months. Rodrigo Lopez getting a spot start as he comes out of the Cubs bullpen. This will be his second starting assignment as a Chicago Cub. We'll have the opener of a day-night doubleheader. The Cubs hosting the Giants on a beautiful day from Wrigley. Busy day in Wrigleyville as WGN Sports presents Chicago Cubs baseball. This afternoon, the Cubs will make up a May 15th rainout against the Giants. They'll also play later tonight, so it's a day-night doubleheader. We welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. What a beautiful day for Cubs baseball. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. And Bob, we're going to talk middle of the order. The Cubs need to slug home runs to be successful. And yesterday, Carlos Pena and Aramis Ramirez did it. Man, Pena's been red hot.
Well, you're absolutely right about slugging, Len. Going all the way back to spring training in Mesa, we felt that this Cubs team was going to have to hit home runs to be successful. The early part of this season, obviously, the weather played into that. But as the weather has heated up, so has the middle of the Cubs order. Carlos Pena with 9 home runs this month, trailing only Prince Fielder, tied with Matt Kemp of the Dodgers.
For Aramis Ramirez, his average has been pretty good all year, but he's more productive in terms of the power numbers this month.
Yeah, and he's come up in some big situations with opportunities to drive in runs, and lately he and Carlos Pena both have been able to cash in with those runners on base.
Just about every Giant position player is cold right now, but they have won 5 in a row because of their pitching, and actually, Bob, they're well ahead of their pace last year when they squeaked out the NL West and went on to win the World Series.
It's hard to believe, losing Buster Posey, losing Freddie Sanchez. You figured that maybe the Giants would take a little bit of a hit, but they're actually playing some of their best ball of the year right now, and it all comes back to that starting pitching.
Yeah, the Giants 37-9 when they score at least 3 runs. Let's take you down to the field now for our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise. Kindly remove your caps and join the U.S. Army Field Band volunteers as they honor America with our national anthem.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming,
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Well, yesterday the Cubs brought out the home run bats as Ramirez and Pena each went deep twice. As the Cubs beat the Rockies, they'll kick off a 4-game series against the Giants next. Select, full flavor, 99 calories. The exception to the rule. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Ford, the newest vehicles on the road are now at your local Ford store. Like the all-new Ford Explorer, SUV, 100% reinvented. Visit localfordstores.com. Ford, drive one. And by the Illinois Lottery. How does $1,000 a week every week for the rest of your life sound? Then play Cash for Life instant games from the Illinois Lottery. The longer you live, the more you get. Chicago Cubs baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. This is the kind of weather day you'd like to bottle up and copy and use about 81 times a year. Wow.
This can't get much better. Bright sunshine, nice cool breezes blowing right now from left toward right field. Should help the left-handed pull hitters today. Maybe knock down some balls, hit the left field, but an absolutely glorious day here on the north side.
And this is a makeup of the rainout back on May 15th. I suppose you could call it the rubber match because that series was 1-1 with the final game getting washed out. Giants were off yesterday. The Cubs originally were scheduled to be off, but they made up an early rainout against the Rockies and beat Colorado 7-3.
Hey, you never mind losing an off day when you play the kind of ball game the Cubs did yesterday, waiting a long time for the offense to break out the way they did in that ball game against the Rockies. That was a welcome sight.
At the umpires for game 1, Ted Barrett will work game 1 behind the plate, meaning he will not have to work game 2. Mark Ripperger, Marvin Hudson, and DJ Rayburn around the bases. Let's take a look at the Cubs' next 4 home opponents. Got the Giants through Thursday. The White Sox come in for the weekend. After the All-Star break, it'll be Jack McKeon's Florida Marlins, followed by the first place Philadelphia Phillies. Left-hander Doug Davis will face this Giants lineup, a major league low 265 runs this year. But as we mentioned, they're in first place. Former White Sox Aaron Rowan will lead it off. Miguel Tejada is at short. Aubrey Huff at first. Cody Ross is in right. Pablo Sandoval, one of the few hot hitters in this lineup. Pat Burrell in left. Bill Hall, who was signed after Freddie Sanchez went down, as his second. Chris Stewart back of the plate. We mentioned Posey's on the DL. And Vogelsong, the pitcher, bats ninth.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively today behind Doug Davis. Brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Soriano, Campana, and Fukudome once again across the outfield, left to right. Ramirez, Castro, DeWitt, and Pena, the same infield as yesterday, third to first. Boy Hill, the only change in the lineup. He'll be doing the catching today for left-hander Doug Davis. Cubs are hoping for an outing from Doug Davis like they saw against the Yankees on that last homestand when he was really good. Not quite as effective against the White Sox last time out. Threw a lot of pitches, 101 deliveries in 5 innings of work.
And as we get started, congratulations to Cubs skipper Mike Quade. He has been named to the National League All-Star coaching staff. The guy across the way, Bruce Bochy, picked Mike today. He replaces Jim Riggleman, who resigned as the Nationals manager last week. And we're underway. A strike on Aaron Rowan. There's the NL All-Star manager.
A little reward for Mike Quade for the Cubs beating up on the Padres down the stretch last year, allowing the Giants to get into the postseason.
Quickly 0-2 on the Giants center fielder. A little showcase here this week for the Cubs players who have an interest in being in that All-Star game. Now the manager doesn't get to pick quite as many as All-Star managers used to.
As he should.
How do you really feel? A little bit inside, 1-2.
Well, you know how I feel, but
do.
Just in case there's some fans tuned in that have no idea what I'm talking about, since the tie game in the All-Star game in 0-2, a home field advantage in the World Series is given to the team that wins the Midsummer Classic. So my thinking is, if you're going to put it all on the All-Star game as to who gets home field advantage in the World Series, let the manager pick the team. If you're going to beat up on the manager that loses the All-Star game for losing that home field edge, then let him pick his own team.
Full count after an 0-2 start. Rowan hitting .397 against lefties. It's the second highest average in the National League. He's hitting .177 versus righties. So no doubt Bruce Bochy gets him in there when he can against southpaws. And he takes ball 4. That's unfortunate for Doug Davis, but you got a guy where you want him, and he let him off the hook. Ideal conditions, 79 degrees, low humidity, and the wind right now out of the northwest at 8. One strike on a breaking ball to Miguel Tejada.
Bochy does not like to bunt much. He doesn't like to hit and run much, but this is one guy he will play hit and run with. Miguel Tejada, so aggressive at the plate. He swings at just about everything.
And a base hit, and Rowan will stop at second. Well, Miguel Tejada coming in today with the lowest OPS, 543 in the entire league. Has not homered in now a career high 221 at bats. But as you say, he will make contact.
And that's why Bruce Bochy feels confident to start runners when Tejada's at the plate. He doesn't swing and miss a lot. He's so aggressive, he's going to swing at the first 2 or 3 pitches he sees anyway. So to try to stay out of the double play, occasionally Bruce Bochy will start that runner at first.
Ball 1 on Aubrey Huff, who's been better against lefties than righties. Huff started the year out in right field, but he's back at first base. And he punches that one out into right center. And the bases, well, they're going to try to send Rowan to the plate. The throw there, safe. Looked like Rowan wanted to stop Tim Flannery. Kept him going. And he still was able to get in, albeit barely, for the first run. I was surprised Tim Flannery sent him.
Well, I was not, Len. I talked to Tim Flannery before the game today about the Giants' offensive struggles, and he said that his hand has been forced. Anytime they have the slightest chance of sending a runner from third base, he's going to be waving them home. Cubs should be aware of that going into this series. A little bit of a double clutch by Tony Campana, just giving Rowan enough time to get in on his belly. Now, that won't be the last questionable send from Tim Flannery in this series.
Well, they average a major league low 3.4 runs per game. And still nobody out. Cody Ross batting cleanup. And that's outside. 1-1. Well, they've got a cold offense and a hot starting pitcher, and you know how that goes sometimes.
We saw it yesterday against the Rockies. One of the best pitchers in the National League got banged around pretty good.
1-2 on Cody Ross. Ross was a waiver wire pickup from the Florida Marlins last August, and he would end up being the NLCS MVP for the Giants. Another ball hit hard into center. This time Flannery's going to put on the stop sign and stop Tejada at third. Bob, we've got to say it right off the bat with the day-night doubleheader. You want to protect your bullpen. You've got a reliever pitching to start game 2. So they need Doug Davis to give him some innings.
Absolutely. Even if it means giving up some early runs, he's going to have to eat up some innings in this ball game today. 6-man pen available to Mike Quade today because of the start for Rodrigo Lopez in game 2. A little harder hit ball into center field that time, and also the Giants' hottest and best hitter making his way to the plate, so that time Flannery a little more cautious with the runner at third.
Pablo Sandoval, switch hitter, left the game against Cleveland on Sunday early with a quad injury. They will turn 2, so he won't get an RBI. On the play, Tejada scores, and it's 2-0. Runner at third, 2 outs.
I mentioned Tejada being an extremely aggressive hitter. The same thing can be said for the Kung Fu Panda. Pablo Sandoval picking on the first pitch he sees, hits the easy grounder to second for a double play. However, the Giants take a 2-0 lead.
So Huff is at third, 2 outs, and Davis goes from the windup against Pat Burrell. Making his 13th start over the Giants' last 42 games.
There was a time Pat Burrell was one of the best fastball hitters in the game. However, his bat has slowed somewhat. Got to be really careful with breaking balls in the strike zone. Those seem to be the pitches he catches up to best.
Base hit to right, 3-0. Just his second career hit for Pat Burrell in 16 at bats against Doug Davis. So they have 4 hits here in the first inning. They've all been singles, and they have 3 runs.
Even that one, a fastball on the inside part of the plate and down, and Burrell gets jammed a little bit, just muscles it out into right field for the RBI single.
And we mentioned that magic number in the open. When the Giants get 3 runs, they normally win. For most teams, it's 4. You score 4 times, you've got a pretty decent chance of winning. That guy hasn't needed much. Ryan Vogelsong comes in with a 1.86 earned run average.
Just as a point of comparison, Len, when the Cubs score 4 or more, they're 26-16 this season. When they score fewer than 4, they're 6-30. So to lower that by a full run a game, and the numbers that the Giants have been able to put up, very impressive for their pitching staff.
Bill Hall is here because of the aforementioned injury to Freddie Sanchez. Hall started the year with the Houston Astros, got released, and then was signed as a free agent by the Giants. Sanchez has a dislocated right shoulder. They've been knocked around. Buster Posey out for the year with a fractured lower left leg. Mark DeRosa on the DL again with a left wrist problem. Mike Fontenot, a left groin strain. Brandon Belt has a fracture in his wrist. And Barry Zito coming off the DL tonight. They get 3. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Fukudome, Campana, and Castro at the top. Ramirez, Pena, and Soriano in the middle. DeWitt, Hill, and Davis rounded out.
Take a look at the Giants defensively. Burrell, Rowan, and Ross across the outfield, left to right. The Kung Fu Panda, Pablo Sandoval, in much better physical shape this season. He'll be manning third base. Miguel Tejada, Bill Hall up the middle of the field. Aubrey Huff over at first base. Catching today for the Giants, Chris Stewart, and he'll be receiving pitches from right-hander Ryan Vogelsong. Spectacular numbers for the Giants right-hander.
Normally, the comeback player of the year is given to a guy who either had a major injury the year before or had a bad performance. For Ryan Vogelsong, he's coming back from baseball oblivion, at least in the major leagues. Here's the 0-1 to Kosuke Fukudome. This is his first experience here in 2011 at this level in 5 years. Spent some time in Japan, the rest in the minors, and he's putting together an all-star type season. Now, the guy he has to impress is his own manager. But it's been a long journey, and Vogelsong is back with his original organization. Bob, he was involved in that Jason Schmidt deal between the Giants and Pirates way back when.
Well, for whatever reason, he certainly has it figured out this year. With runners in scoring position, opponents barely hitting over 100 against him.
Kosuke puts a charge into this ball, and it's going to be run down by Aaron Rowland. I think yesterday that's a home run.
Well, what's that saying? A day late and a dollar short? Well, Kosuke definitely a day late. Wind was blowing straight out of here at Wrigley Field yesterday afternoon. That ball would have rattled around in the bleachers, but with the wind blowing across from left to right, knocked it down a little bit, giving Aaron Rowland enough time to run underneath right in front of the vines. Yeah, back to Vogelsong. Every number you look at, he's allowed 2 or fewer runs in his last 9 consecutive starts. You don't have to score a lot of runs when your pitchers are doing that.
Called strike to Tony Campana. Well, to kind of tie it all up, the reason Vogelsong is in their rotation is because of the Barry Zito injury. Well, Zito will return from the DL for game 2. He had a foot injury, but Vogelsong isn't going anywhere, and I don't think he would have anyway. But Jonathan Sanchez just went to the DL with a left biceps injury. So I would say it's a pretty good example of a guy taking advantage of an opportunity.
Well put. Since April 18th. Lowest earned run average in the major leagues.
Another guy on that list who has opened some eyes, Eric Bedard of the Seattle Mariners. A pretty good comeback story, although for him it's been injuries. Campana getting his 15th start in center, and he swings and misses. Stewart will fire to Huff to complete the out. We'd love to hear from you via email at lennonbob@tribune.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. And you should. And if you don't, that's on you.
We wish you had.
Starlin Castro with a career high 11-game hitting streak. Last time the Giants were here, Castro had a chance to talk to one of his heroes, Miguel Tejada. What a thrill that was for Castro.
You can see some similarities, at least offensively, between Miguel Tejada and Starlin Castro. Both very aggressive, both great hand-eye coordination, get the bat on the ball almost every time they swing.
Mike Quade has managed both guys. Tejada when Mike was managing in the Oakland A's farm system. Q had a meeting after the game yesterday, said in 27 years in pro baseball, and a lot of it as a manager, said it's the first meeting he's ever held after a win. He really wants to tighten up some of the defensive issues. You had a ball drop in foul territory as Carlos Pena appeared to call off Giovanni Soto. He was not calling him off, but Gio heard a voice, let the ball go, and it dropped. Matt Garza made an error in the game as well. And even though the Cubs out-homered their mistakes yesterday, it's something he wanted to address.
Well, they're just, I mean, the Garza play, he was a little anxious to get the ball. Maybe he looked up before he had a handle on it, but the pop foul that dropped, really no excuse for that. There just has to be better communication. Use your voice.
This one will be caught by Ross for the final out. They go 1-2-3. It's 3-0 San Francisco at the end of one. Chris Stewart against Doug Davis. Strike one. Eli Whiteside battling some left quad tightness. We think he should be able to go for game two. It's been Stewart in there the last few days. A lot of talk about whether the Giants want to go out and acquire some help back of the plate with Buster Posey out for the rest of the year. Stewart's done the job defensively for sure. He got a very quick release.
6 out of 10 this season. He's thrown out on the bases. During his minor league career, he's thrown out nearly 44% of the attempted base stealers. Really good numbers.
2 balls, 2 strikes with Vogelsong on deck. And a base hit.
The McDonald's Daily Double is back for just $1.89, but you don't have to remember it to love it. Prices and participation may vary. For a limited time, a la carte only.
Vogelsong squaring to bunt. And a diving attempt in foul ground. Coy Hill just could not squeeze it. Good effort.
Well, that is a tough play because you know you're completely sprawled out there diving for the ball. You know that mitt's going to hit the ground hard. Unfortunately, as you said, Coy just couldn't squeeze it quickly enough before the back of that catcher's mitt hit the dirt. The ball popped right out. Nice effort.
Davis is going to throw to second. They get one. They might have had two, but the ball squirted out of the mitt of Blake DeWitt. That's going to tag Vogelsong just in case, but he did not make a move towards second, so it's a fielder's choice.
All bunted right back to the mound. Doug Davis doesn't waste any time. Notice he just picked it up, turned, and threw. No crow hop, no adjusting the ball in his hand, got rid of it quickly, and that's the only way they were going to get the lead runner there.
Back to Aaron Rowan, who walked to start the game. And he pops it up, and Castro will make the catch. Like Castro was keeping an eye on Rowan just to see if he was running hard down the line.
Not always an easy thing to do, especially on a pop-up that's not that high in the air. Sometimes if that ball's popped a little higher in the air, you have the luxury of looking off at the baseball to see what the runner's doing. But that time Castro had to multitask. Watch the ball, see the runner out of the corner of his eye, decided to go ahead and make the catch.
High strike on Tejada. Fouled back, 0-2. Like yesterday, only game going on during the afternoon. Everything else is tonight. Most of it is interleague action. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. One thing about Doug Davis, even when he has struggled, he's found a way to battle and hang in there and give you another inning or two after a rough inning. Cubs are going to need several more today from him. As DeWitt makes a catch, a scoreless second for Davis after he gave up 3 in the first. Through the 10th at Lakeside, featuring a full headline set by Dave Matthews Band each night, along with performances by David Gray, Ray LaMontagne, OAR, Kid Cudi, and many more. Single day and 3-day tickets on sale now at DMB. I want to say DMV. Caravan.com. Brought to you by Bud Light. Here we go. Maybe I need to get my license renewed.
So go get your driver's license picture taken and buy some Dave Matthews Band tickets while you're there.
This is Dave Matthews Band live from Wrigley here in the background. 3-0 Giants as the Cubs bat in the bottom of the second.
A tremendous lineup for all 3 days of that Dave Matthews show. Our good buddies Humphreys McGee playing on Saturday night with G Love and Special Sauce, the headliners at the Len and Bob Bash a couple years ago.
Aramis Ramirez headlining, leading off the bottom of the second, and a base hit. He stays hot. First base runner for the Cubs as he greets his former Pirate teammate with a solid single to left.
Number 22, Carlos Pena.
Well, I'll tell you, Ramirez is not missing many pitches in the strike zone right now. I mean, even yesterday's ball game, we saw pitches down. Both times he was able to golf them out of the ballpark, but in the bottom part of the strike zone, that time a first pitch fastball right down the middle, and he hammers that one into left field.
That brings up Carlos Pena, who over his last 4 games in Chicago has hit 5 home runs, including 2 yesterday. Homered in all 3 games on the south side last week. Towering fly ball to right. Cody Ross back at the wall. Gone. Man, is he hot.
Just an absolute towering drive to right field. We mentioned that wind blowing across from left toward right certainly helped that one a little bit, but it didn't need much help. Absolutely crushed. Stay hot.
Going into action today, thanks to Stats and Sabre for their research assistance. Soriano gets a hold of one. Aaron Rowan, however, is going to have room, backpedaling right up against the wall in center. Going into play today, Pena, the first Cub ever to get to 16 homers before July after hitting 0 in April. So make that 17 now. All 17 of Pena's home runs have come since May 3rd. Blake DeWitt with 1 out. Takes ball 1. 3-2 Giants here in the second. Foul pop back to the seats.
You know, Len, with Ramirez and Carlos Pena being as hot as they are right now, especially with the long ball, you wonder how long it's going to be before teams start to pitch around them and put the pressure on Alfonso Soriano and in today's lineup, Blake DeWitt. We talk about it all the time when teams come in here to Wrigley or we go on the road. There's a guy or two in that opposing lineup that you can't let beat you, and right now it's the 2 guys in that 4 and 5 spot, Ramirez and Pena.
An additional Elias note on yesterday's win over the Rockies. For the first time ever for the Cubs at Wrigley Field, the 4 and 5 hitters both hit 2 home runs in the same game. Ernie Banks and Ron Santo started 969 games together. including 504 in this ballpark, and the only time they each hit 2 in a game was at Milwaukee County Stadium in 1965. It's not easy to do. The Witt stays alive.
A lot of times after the first home run, you get pitched so carefully in your next couple of at-bats that you don't have an opportunity to drive the ball out of the ballpark. But as I mentioned earlier, Ramirez with 2 low pitches, he was able to golf out of here, 1 to center, 1 to left, and Carlos Pena, to his credit, 1 to center and 1 to the opposite field. That was really good to see him hitting the ball the other way yesterday.
Yeah, 3 home runs on this homestand, and he's found all 3 fields.
And Rudy Jaramillo, the hitting coach for the Cubs, had a conversation with his hitters about that the other day. Don't forget the opposite field. Especially when you start to heat up at the plate and do some serious damage, opposing pitchers are going to try to stay away from your power, and occasionally you're just going to have to take a base hit to the opposite field.
Nice grab by Sandoval in foul territory on that little slicing liner.
Hey fans, the 27th annual Cubs Convention will take place at the Hilton Chicago on January 13th, 14th, and 15th, 2012. Rooms are available now by calling the Hilton Chicago at 312-922-4400 and asking for the Cubs Convention rate. Weekend passes will go on sale in early November. For more information, as always, visit Cubs.com.
Two outs, it's Coy Hill. And a fastball for a strike. That one into the right field corner. If it's fair, it's got a chance, and it is gone. A home run to tie it. He kept it fair right inside the right field foul pole. Second homer of the year for Coy Hill.
The Giants have to be in a little bit of shock. Vogelsong had only surrendered 4 home runs in over 72 innings pitched this year, but 2 long balls here in the inning. Coy Hill also taking advantage of that wind blowing out to right field, put it right down the line, tying up the game.
Cusack loved it, hanging with Chris Chelios and a bunch of Cub fans in the front row. That snaps the 9-start streak of Ryan Vogelsong, in which he had allowed 2 or fewer runs. One and 2 on Doug Davis. Swing and a miss for strike 3, but they get 3 on a couple home runs. That's 6 of them over the last 2 days for the home team.
right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
Coy Hill tying the game with a home run to right. Just fair into the seats and right. So new life for Doug Davis as he faces Aubrey Huff. Huff with an RBI single and a run in the opening inning. Curveball missed at 69 miles an hour. Two and one. Cubs still haven't gone to San Francisco. They will do that at the end of August. It's the first time the Cubs have hosted the Giants for 6 or more home games since 1998. The reason they get this extra series is because of the 6-team NL Central, and you got interleague play and trying to match up all the schedules. Davis let that one really get away as he looked up toward the sky on ball 4. That dreaded leadoff walk.
Especially for an offense that has struggled to score runs leading up to today, you do not want to issue any free passes. Make these guys hit their way on base.
Is that our Timmy, or
I think that's Timmy Basamente she's talking about right there.
Tim Lincecum?
Oh, maybe it is Tim Lincecum. Tim Lincecum's making a little more than Timmy Basamente.
Ooh. Huff leaning, but he didn't have a big lead.
That's another thing the Giants don't do a lot of. They don't run much whatsoever. Andres Torres, who's not in the lineup today, probably their best source of speed.
One off the plate. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Davis working behind here to start this inning. He walked Huff, and he's now put Cody Ross in a hitter's count. High fly to left. Soriano in front of the warning track. Wind helping him. Cub fans, make sure you check out our WGN Baseball blog on WGNTV.com. I have a post previewing this day-night doubleheader. We have information on the 7th inning stretch singers for the homestand, game notes from Stats. There is a link to our new podcast and much more at WGNTV.com. One and nothing on Pablo Sandoval. That ball hit hard, and Kosuke can't get it. Going to bang off the 368 sign. Huff's going to be sent. Campana's throw misses everybody. Not that it really mattered. And the Giants grab the lead again. Sandoval with his 17th RBI, and it's 4-3.
Well, you called it right, Len. That ball was scalded toward the gap in right center field. Pablo Sandoval is a guy that's hungry to hit. He loves to swing that bat. In years past, he's been hungry to eat, but he's got himself in much better shape this year, swinging the bat well, driving it to the opposite field. Little kick there by Tony Campana. However, Sandoval had kind of rounded second base and gone into his routine and didn't see that ball get away from the Cubs cutoff man.
Pat Burrell hits it a ton, but he pulled it way foul. Hey, by the way, Thursday should be fun. Eddie Vedder, the lifelong Cub fan, the lead singer of Pearl Jam, will be accompanied by his childhood hero, Jose Cardinal. They're going to sing the stretch together.
You're going to play a ukulele along with it? Eddie Vedder, that's his new thing.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Got to make sure we bring a few 4-colored pens to give Eddie. He's a big fan of those, and I grabbed a few last time he was here. And with one of them, he wrote a song.
Yeah, in about 15 seconds.
Yes, he did. It was fun.
Hill digging out a low breaking pitch. When you catch Doug Davis, you know you're going to be busy behind the dish, especially when he gets ahead in the count. He likes to bounce that breaking ball or run that cutter in off the plate. Got to be ready to move behind the dish.
Bill Hall on deck. 2-2 count on Pat Burrell. Giants have taken their second lead of the day. And that ball crushed to left and gone. Without the wind blowing in, that ball's on Waveland. As it is, it's about 5 rows up in the left field bleachers. So they have their 3-run lead again.
Looks like it's going to be one of those days. Just got to keep slugging. For the Giants, an unexpected offensive outburst here so far this afternoon. A fastball up on the inner part of the plate. Yeah, off the bat, I thought that ball was headed across the street, but the wind knocked it down into the bleachers. Still counts for 2.
As we mentioned coming in, Pat Burrell had very little previous success against Doug Davis, but he's 2 for 2 with a home run and 3 RBIs. And that's only his second home run in 51 games. 7 total.
You kind of get the feeling that this Giants offense looks forward to road trips. Their home ballpark, very tough to hit home runs, especially to left field. Deep gaps, very deep in center field. You go on the road in some of the smaller ballparks, take advantage of the wind direction, and like I said, this is an outburst for them today.
They won a game the other day against the Cleveland Indians. 1 run was scored, and it was scored on a balk.
I think that inning went walk, air, balk to win a game.
Oh. Scored a run recently on a sac fly that was a foul pop up to third base. I mean, they're just trying to figure out any way possible to scratch home some runs. But they've done it with the bats today as Bill Hall hooks that one foul. Doug Davis is from Northern California, born in Sacramento. He grew up rooting for the A's. He would attend Diablo Valley College and then City College of San Francisco. 5-9 lifetime against one of his quote hometown or at least home area teams. That caught the outside corner, strike 3. Hall has fanned twice.
Hitting next, catcher Chris Stewart.
May have caught that outside corner of the plate, and that's what Doug Davis is going to need to do the rest of the afternoon. Stay out of the middle, work around the edges, hope to get the Giants to chase borderline pitches.
Chris Stewart has bounced around White Sox, Rangers, Yankees, Padres, and now the Giants. I got the old school Expos garb on. One and two.
Chris Stewart, a perfect example of a guy who can catch and throw and has turned it into a pretty good career because he has never hit at any level.
Fly ball left field, Soriano backpedaling, and the inning is over. We've had 3 3-run innings. The Giants with 2 of them today. On May 15th, when the Cubs and Giants were rained out. 39 with a 22-degree wind chill. Cubs baseball is brought to you by Xfinity only from Comcast.
Wind blowing straight in. Try to forget those kind of dates here, Wrigley.
Is blowing in today at 8 miles an hour out of the northwest, but it didn't bother Pat Burrell, who hit a 2-run homer to make it 6-3. Ukadome fly deep to the warning track in center in the first inning. Sandoval and Huff are in at the corner spots, and it's 2-0. The night before that rain out, and the weather wasn't very good then either, May 14th, Vogelsong got a 6-inning complete game. No runs, 7 hits. 3-0 Giants victory. Ball 4, a leadoff walk. Now Davis with 2 leadoff walks, resulting in big innings for the Giants, and the Cubs trying to do the same here against Vogelsong.
That's something Vogelsong has not done much of this year. Once again, in 72 2/3 innings pitched coming into today, only 19 base on balls, and we're told some of those were strategic walks. When he had a base open at first, pitched around guys to go after the following hitter.
Campana was able to pull the bat back, check down at third, and Jay Rayburn confirmed that. Pulled it back again, but took a strike. I think he's going to make it. Yep. Tony Campana with a bunt single. Everybody in the park knew he was going to do it, and he still picked up a base hit.
As much fun as it is to watch guys hit balls up in the seats, this is as much fun to watch. Tony Campana taking advantage of his #1 asset, his speed. Creates some confusion there between the first baseman and the pitcher. Bill Hall's a little bit late getting over to cover the bag, and that's all the break that Tony Campana needed.
There has to be nothing more satisfying for a guy like Campana, knowing that the Giants knew what he was going to do, and they still couldn't do anything about it. There's Castro with 2 on and no outs. Fastball for a strike.
Well, some Cub fans may remember Brett Butler played for the Giants, played for the Dodgers, several other teams in his career. He was similar in stature to Tony Campana, very fast, and the bunt was a huge part of his arsenal, and he would bunt even with the third baseman right in his face. He still felt like he could deaden that ball enough, get down that line quickly enough that even when the defense was protecting against the bunt, he would still bunt for base hits, and Tony Campana just did it right there.
Well, nothing really playing true to form here today. A wobbly Giants offense, scoring 6 times in the first 3 innings, and an all-star caliber pitcher who's already given up 3, and he's on the ropes again. Try to turn 2, although Tejada had to back up. The relay throw is going to be late. With Tejada backpedaling, that pretty much took away the double play chance. 1 out, and they're at the corners for Ramirez.
Now, the fact that Tejada had to back up right there to play that big hop, by the time he shovels onto Bill Hall, that gives Tony Campana the opportunity to get in there and disrupt the play, and Castro able to leg it out at first. The right guy's coming to the plate with runners on base.
Swing by Aramis, and he fouled it back. Pena on deck already with a 2-run homer today. Pitcher's strike and a cutter right on the outside corner. 0-2.
And we've seen the tailing two-seamer. That's the cut fastball in the upper 80s. That time spotted right at the edge of the strike zone at the knees. Vogelsong will also throw a curveball and a straight changeup, and usually uses all 4 pitches every time out.
Foul by about a foot. Burrell saying, "Who's been nice to me?"
Just foul down that left field line. Thought the wind might help it a little bit, but it was hit so hard on a line, the wind really didn't have much effect on it.
Vogelsong ready for an 0-2. And a big strikeout, 2 down.
Let's take a look at our BMW Ultimate Drive. I'll tell you what, if you won a BMW for the Ultimate Drive, Carlos Pena would have a garage full of them by now. Towering drive to the seats in right field. As always, the Ultimate Drive brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW dealers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
I think Vogelsong will be fairly careful here, considering how hot Pena's been. You have a right-handed hitter, Alfonso Soriano, on deck. And I think Carlos knows that, and he has such a keen eye at the plate, Bob. I think he's just looking for a mistake.
And when you're locked in at the plate like Carlos is right now, you have that luxury of even taking strikes if it's not exactly the pitch you're looking for. Up until you get 2 strikes, make sure it's something you want to swing at. Check swing that time, out of character for Carlos Pena.
Cubs put the first 2 on without hitting a ball out of the infield. A walk and a bunt hit. But now there are 2 away.
Carlos Pena loves to call timeout in that left-handed batter's box, but that one was shadow induced. Just as he got into the batter's box, a cloud went in front of the sun. A huge shadow went between the mound and home plate, so Carlos jumped out and requested time.
The lights are back on, so to speak. Three and one.
Vogelsong looks like he's just not willing to give in this particular at bat to Carlos Pena. Some change-ups away, breaking balls down. Ooh. Another change-up on a 3-1 pitch.
Castro will run with this payoff pitch. Huff playing behind him at first.
Apparently some disagreement over the pitch to throw here on the full count 2-out delivery with runners at the corners. And rather than just keep guessing as to what Vogelsong wants to throw, Chris Stewart decided to call timeout and go out and talk it over with his pitcher.
Long-time pitching coach Dave Righetti. I think Rags has been there since Dusty Baker was a manager.
Oh, he's a good one. There's no question the Giants have had their share of really good arms come through the system, but Dave Righetti has a lot to do with their success.
They went with a changeup, and Pena strikes out. Now, wasted opportunity for the Cubs. 6-3 Giants. Ryan Vogelsong swings at the first pitch of the fourth inning.
The new Bud Light Bleacher Series provides fans with exciting new opportunities in the Bud Light bleachers this season, including free T-shirt Mondays, $3 12-ounce draft Bud and Bud Light Tuesday nights, and $1 Vienna beef hot dog Wednesdays. Tuesday night special is also available in select locations in the Seating Bowl. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Giants fans in the ballpark want to see that guy on the All-Star team. And it could happen. I got just a minor beef with the All-Star situation currently, which I do think waters it down slightly. I don't lose sleep over it, but basically if a starter pitches on Sunday before the All-Star game and is in the All-Star or on the roster, that guy cannot pitch in the game. He is considered an All-Star, but then they replace him on the roster. And I think the last couple of years, Bob, the rosters have been like 34, 35 plus All-Stars. Doesn't it just slightly take away from the special nature of being an All-Star, or no? Or you have the mindset, the more the merrier?
You know, it makes a lot of sense, obviously. If a guy pitches on Sunday and he's going to be completely unavailable come Tuesday night, I don't know. I don't know if there's an easy answer to that. If he has pitched well enough to deserve an All-Star booth and it just happens that his turn falls on the Sunday before the All-Star game, he shouldn't be punished for that.
Fly to right. Kosuke will have to play that one on the bounce, and Vogelsong has a single. again, it's a minor beef. I'm trying to take away an all-star accolade from potentially a very deserving player, but it seems like any minor injury and a guy is out of the game and they quickly replace him. End up with 40 guys representing one league. 7 or 8 of them can't participate.
Make it a 25-man roster, just like during the regular season.
Well, if you do that, you have to be very careful with your pinch hitters and your relievers.
Well, yeah, maybe you expand the pitching staff, obviously, because you don't want to overextend anybody in an exhibition game, although I guess it's not considered to be an exhibition game anymore. It's an all-star game. Come on. Can you imagine if they determined home field advantage in the Super Bowl by what happened in the Pro Bowl?
Well, the second's going to be cut off. Back-to-back singles to start this inning. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Actually, the fairer way to do home field advantage might be interleague play. You add up all the games between the AL and the NL, and whichever league has a better record. A pop-up that'll be caught by Blake DeWitt. So they get Tejada for the first out. You think the commissioner's heard a few of these suggestions over the years?
I'm sure he's heard those and about 1 million more. I would tend to agree with you, though. I think the overall interleague record is probably a fairer way to judge who gets home field advantage in the World Series than an exhibition game where managers would like to get everybody in the game. You're an all-star. You earned the right to be here. I'd love to get you in the ball game as best I can. It's an exhibition game. I don't know that anybody ever went to an all-star game with their NL or AL pennants rooting for their team. You go to see the best players in the game do what it is they do well. I don't think anybody is really that jacked up over who wins the game.
I would agree. Great honor for all the players.
Sure.
It's great for fans to see all the baseball's best players in one place for a couple of days. As Huff gives this one a high ride, but it's going to be caught by Kosuke. And the runners stay right where they are, 2 down. Cody Ross will bat with runners at first and second and 2 outs.
Well, and it seems like such a simple thing, but it happens all the time. Every time a fly ball is hit to Kosuke in right field, he doesn't wait to see what the runners on base are going to do. He does the right thing. Catch the ball, hustle it back in quickly toward third base, and make sure you hold that runner at second. Vogelsong had gone back to tag up. Very little chance that he was going to try to advance, but Kosuke didn't wait to see. Catch it and get rid of it quickly.
Cubs have 2 guys who are very similar in Marlon Byrd and Kosuke Fukudome. Regardless of the situation, they both get behind the ball, get it back to the infield quickly. Byrd does it with nobody on base. Just kind of his habit. It's the way he always does it.
Real good habit to get into.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, the pitcher's running at second base. Vogelsong had gone back to tag. You see Tony Campana looked into the infield, let Kosuke know the runner was tagging. So he caught it, got rid of it quickly. And no chance, even if Vogelsong wanted to advance, for him to make it to third base. You catch that ball flat-footed or backing up a little bit and come down with the ball and take a look to see what that runner at second base is doing, and then you see he's breaking for third. By then it's too late to make the throw to get it.
Davis ready for a 2-2 pitch. This one down the right field line, and it's going to just make the seats right on that ledge. If you missed it earlier, Cubs manager Mike Quade has been named to Bruce Bochy's National League All-Star coaching staff. He'll replace Jim Riggleman. He will join Kirk Gibson, the Diamondbacks manager, and all of the Giants coaching staff as well. 82nd All-Star game in Phoenix. Slowly hit grounder. Castro will throw to second, and they just get Aaron Rowan. Giants lead 2. It's 6-3 in the fourth.
Sponsored in part by Mega Millions and now Powerball from the Illinois Lottery. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $88 million, while Wednesday's Powerball jackpot sits at $76 million.
Beautiful weather on this Tuesday afternoon. Makeup date. Giants and Cubs will play a regularly scheduled 7:05 game later tonight.
The Giants thought they were catching a huge break with 2 trips to Chicago this year. Every team loves to come to Chicago in the summertime, but all night games except for getaway day, so they won't get to enjoy the city quite as much as in years past when we played all day games here. I'm sure a few of them will still find a way to have a good time tonight.
Yeah. Alfonso Soriano takes strike 1. Into left, base hit. Burrow comes over and backhands, gets by him, and Soriano will get the second. I'm not so sure he would have otherwise. And it's a single and an error.
Fourth error of the season for Pat Burrell. Elevated fastball for Soriano. He tomahawks it down in that left field corner. Well, Burrell has never been known for his defensive prowess. Just looked off that ball too quickly. It hit off his glove and rolled back to the warning track, allowing Soriano to advance to second.
DeWitt fouls back. Nicely done by that Cub fan in the front row of the upper deck.
One-handed over the rail. Nicely done. You know, Len, I've said it many, many times over the years. These are the best fielding fans in all of baseball. Maybe it's because they're so close to the field. They get so many opportunities to catch foul balls, but we've seen some great plays here at Wrigley, especially in the upper deck.
They do get a lot of chances in the upper deck here. Inside to DeWitt, 1-2. Day game today for the Iowa Cubs, and Marlon Byrd has a double and a homer and 3 knocked in from the leadoff spot. Darwin Barney is 2 for 3. As Iowa leads Albuquerque 10-3 in the top of the 8th. Darwin Barney expected back tomorrow from his rehab assignment. That's golfed into center. Aaron Rowan coming in. He's going to make the catch, and that'll keep Soriano at second. Let's check in on that Cubs minor league report. Iowa trying to win its 7th in a row. Tennessee will be in the playoffs. Slow start 2-3 to the second half. Daytona also won the first half. How about Jeff Lorick? 6 shutout innings last night. Peoria ended finally its 10-game losing streak with a 16-7 win over Wisconsin.
For the I-Cubs last night, Tyler Colvin, his second consecutive multi-hit game, had a double, a home run, 3 RBI.
Coy Hill tied the game in his first at bat with a home run to right. For Hill, he has 7 career home runs. They've all been hit left-handed. Actually 8 now with the homer today. So 8 career homers, all from the left side. Fastball at 92. To make it 1-2. Checked his swing. That's a fair ball picked up by Vogelsong. The throw to first. They just got him. Vogelsong couldn't put much on that throw, but they get Hill for the second out.
That was more of a push than a throw from Vogelsong. This looks like a bunt up the first baseline. Vogelsong gets to it in good shape, just kind of flicks it out there to Aubrey Huff, just ahead of Coy Hill.
So another opportunity here for the Cubs, and it's down to the pitcher batting with 2 outs. They had 2 on, nobody out in the third. Runner at second, nobody out here in the fourth. And Vogelsong trying to get out of his second consecutive jam with no damage. Just a little too early, especially with 2 outs, to pinch hit for the starting pitcher. First game of a doubleheader. I know, Bob, as a manager, you probably, these were the spots, especially in the middle of the year, where you thought, wish we had the DH today. We wouldn't have to rue over having the pitcher bat with a runner at third. But really, Mike Quaddy doesn't have much of a choice.
Not today, no. If this was just a regular single game without worrying about game 2 of a doubleheader, maybe you play things a little differently. But when you know you've got at least 9 innings lurking later tonight, you've got to be very judicious how you use that pitching staff in game 1.
Two balls, 2 strikes. He takes a called strike 3, and Vogelsong escapes yet again. $5 footlongs from Subway. Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. Sandoval, Burrow, and Hall against Davis here in the 5th inning. Called strike 1. As we peruse the Major League standings, the Yankees and Red Sox, as everyone thought, along with Tampa Bay, battling for the top spot over in the American League East. Yankees with a half-game lead on the Red Sox. Boston's at Philadelphia tonight, and what a great pitching matchup. Josh Beckett and Cliff Lee. 14 combined wins between those two starters. Tampa Bay got shut out last night by the Cincinnati Reds, 5-0 at home. Ooh, comebacker base hit. Davis tried to reach behind his back and could not knock it down. We want to let our AT&T U-verse viewers in Chicago and around the country on WGN America know that during every Cubs home game this season, if you go to channel 780 or high definition channel 1780, you can see a special multi-view presentation that shows you all of our different live camera angles here at Wrigley Field. Pretty cool. So if you want to direct the game along with Skip Ellison, give a look to AT&T U-verse channel 780 or HD channel 1780. Giants for the second straight inning get back-to-back hits to start the frame. Burrell is 3 for 3. We're up in double digits now in hits. That's 11 on the day for San Francisco.
We talked about it before. Pat Burrell's bat speed has slowed down considerably, but that time got a little cutter right in the middle of the plate, which speeds up his bat. He hooks it into left field for the second consecutive hit to start the fifth here.
The only guy who's not yet figured out Doug Davis today is Bill Hall. He has struck out swinging and looking. Outside. Good battle in the AL Central. Detroit 1 up on the Cleveland Indians entering play tonight. White Sox are 5 back. They'll start a series in Denver. The Royals, a team we just saw, will go to a 6-man rotation at least until the All-Star break. Kyle Davies ready to come off the DL, and Danny Duffy, we saw him on Saturday, is going to remain in the rotation. Duffy 7 innings, 2 runs, and a no decision on Saturday. Dodgers have filed for bankruptcy protection after Major League Baseball would not approve its TV deal with Fox. Mentioned the Royals with a 6-man rotation. Bobby Scales going from Iowa to Japan. And we wish him the best. Bill Hall checked his swing. Could not hold up. 2-2. How about the Dodgers? A 15-0 win at Minnesota last night. Matt Kemp had 4 hits, including an NL pacing 22nd home run. Every Dodger starter had 2 hits, a run, and an RBI. Ooh. 25 hits. That tied an LA Dodger record. Three-2 to Hall. That loads the bases. Still nobody up in the Cubs bullpen. That will probably change here as Mike Quade and Mark Riggins talk about it.
So Mike Quade signal for Mark Riggins to make a trip to the mound. Q gets on the phone down to the Cubs bullpen.
Lester Strode on the other end of that phone line. And time now for the Cubs' upcoming schedule, brought to you by Lincoln. Again, the night game tonight features lefty Barry Zito and righty Rodrigo Lopez. We're on WGN tomorrow night and then Thursday as well. Lincoln, it's not just luxury, it's smarter than that. Feel smarter at Lincoln.com. Rookie righty Chris Carpenter will get up. It seems as though more important, if you get a guy up, you use him in game 1. You don't want to get him hot 2 or 3 times and then use him and then.
It just depends on how much he throws down there in the bullpen. I mean, ideally, Doug Davis gets a pop up to the infield here and a quick double play ball. Chris Carpenter will not have been heated up, and at that point you can sit him back down and save him for later in the game. But yeah, if he gets cranked up and ready to come into the ball game quickly, You're almost forced to use guys out of the pen today, if you get them up and get them warm.
Cub fans here at the ballpark checking out our blog and Facebook, Twitter. Base hit center field. They'll go station to station as Sandoval is in. Chris Stewart, the light hitting catcher, has 2 hits and an RBI today, and it's 7-3, and still nobody out, with the pitcher Vogelsong coming up.
Well, and since Mark Riggins has already made a trip to the mound here in this inning, if indeed you think Carpenter's going to have to come into this ball game, you'd like to see Coy Hill or somebody on that infield go out and start to stall for a little more time to make sure Carpenter has enough warm-up pitches to enter this ball game. Plus, it may help slow down the momentum here a little bit in the top half of the 5th.
12 hits for the Giants. Vogelsong swinging out of his shoes.
Operating under that theory, swing hard in case you hit it.
American League West, Texas with a 1.5 game lead over the Angels, who handed Davey Johnson a loss in his Nationals managerial debut, 4-3 last night in 10. Nationals have still won 13 of 16. It is foul. Foul ball. Right now, the Rangers, the only team in that American League West that's over 500. Seattle's 39-40, but the Mariners are only 2 games out. Swing and a miss for the first out.
Stepping into play, center fielder Aaron Rowan.
Most commanding lead in baseball, the Phillies. They'll look for their 50th win tonight. They have the best record in the game at 49-30 and a 4.5 game edge over Atlanta in the NL East. Here comes Mike Quade, and that'll be it for Davis. It'll be hard throwing righty Chris Carpenter to face Aaron Rowan. So the rookie comes in with the bases loaded in the 5th, and we'll be back.
brought to you by Bud Light Lime. Just the right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor.
Well, what Ernie says, we do.
That's right. We follow orders well.
Chris Carpenter against Aaron Rowan. We mentioned the drastic righty-lefty splits for Rowan. He's killed lefties. He's struggled against righties.
I got to say it. Every time I see Aaron Rowan step into that batter's box, it reminds me of somebody here in Wrigleyville at about 2:15 in the morning hanging onto a stop sign.
That is fair. Lots of trouble. Burrow. Hall. Stewart is safe. Just beat the tag of Coy Hill. Aaron Rowan clears him, and it's 10-3.
A good relay by Starlin Castro right on the money to Coy Hill. Man, I don't know about that one. It was tough to see from that angle exactly when contact was made on the tag. Coy Hill trying to block the dish there against his opposite number, the catcher for the Giants, and very close play at the plate. Take one more look. Coy Hill with the swipe tag appeared to catch Chris Stewart on the rear end. Very, very close still upon replay.
Two and 0 on the free swinging Miguel Tejada. In the hole, tough play for Castro. The throw in time, but Pena's foot was pulled off the bag, and that'll be a hit. Rowan stayed at second.
A great effort by the kid Starlin Castro at shortstop, going way into the hole. Tejada's a little slow unwinding out of that batter's box. It was worth the attempt to try to throw off balance, and unfortunately that throw just a little bit on the home plate side of first base, and by the time Pena stretches out there to get the baseball, the foot slides off the bag.
Be a wild pitch. Only one runner advanced. That's Rowan. Line to left. Soriano misjudged it. Couldn't make the catch. 11-3. The ball was sinking. However, he got to the spot and just did not make the catch. It's a sac fly and an error on Soriano.
Ball coming off the bat of a left-hander with that side rotation, especially spinning back into the wind, is really going to get knocked down a lot more than you anticipate, and that time Soriano just came up a little short.
Ninth batter of the inning, Cody Ross. Slider strike. Castro, DeWitt, Pena, and the inning's finally over. But a 5-run inning for the Giants. They've opened up an 8-run lead.
lottery, you could win one of 5 top prizes of $250,000 or one of over 52,000 additional prizes ranging from $50 to $1,000 instantly.
Fukudome leading off with the Cubs trailing now by 8 runs. Well, aside from all the runs allowed by Davis and Carpenter today, the Cubs have had a lot of chances to get more than the 3 they have against Vogelsong. Picked up by Tejada, gets rid of it in a hurry.
Center fielder Tony Campana.
Campana's 1 for 2. And I talk to Mike Quaddy every day, and the coaches as well. They have worked extremely hard on all facets. Today, actually, one of the rare days the Cubs did not take batting practice because of the day-night doubleheader. They had that extra game yesterday. Cubs won. So the manager just wanted them to show up, take a few cuts in the cage, and get ready for 18 innings of baseball. Swing and a miss by Campana. But it's been frustrating, especially when you are working as hard as the Cubs have on correcting a lot of the issues that have come up. And when you see a team struggle situationally offensively, you tend to, as a fan, ask, well, don't they work on this stuff? Yes, they do at batting practice every single day. You've talked before about kind of the routine and rhythm of a normal round of batting practice. With bunting, shooting the ball the other way, and the like. They get the curveball machine out there a couple times a week.
And certainly they do their scouting of the opposing pitching staff. Outfield arms, infield arms. You put it all in that computer between your ears, and then hopefully you go out there during the ball game and take advantage of the knowledge that you've gained and the work that you've done earlier that day in preparation for that ball game. I'll tell you a perfect example, and Tony Campana just drawing the 1-out base on balls right there, along with Bob Dernier and Reed Johnson going over this Giants lineup and where do you want to position yourself as a center fielder. Now, Tony Campana is a starter today, but Reed Johnson, the more veteran center fielder, was involved in the meeting, and they were looking at the spray charts. Where do these guys hit the ball? How are we going to defend them? What if Doug Davis throws a changeup? What if Doug Davis throws a cutter in? And it was really quite a long, involved process just to figure out where you wanted to position your center fielder against all these Giants hitters. So it's not like they just show up and put their uniforms on and run out to their position and start playing the ball game. Unfortunately, sometimes that information that they digest earlier in the day and the work they do in the cages doesn't always translate into game action. I mean, that pop-up down the first baseline, a perfect example yesterday. That's the most elementary play in the game. The catcher's taught to go after every foul ball until he hears somebody call him off. There was a mistake made. The ball dropped. Fortunately, Matt Garza pitched around it and no damage was done. But those are the kind of little mistakes that have to be avoided. There's so little margin for error for this Cubs team right now, as undermanned as they are. They cannot afford to make fundamental mistakes on a daily basis and expect to win.
2 strikes to Castro as Campana takes off. There's a bouncer up the middle, and it's dropped. And that's what speed will do for you. Bill Hall was trying to field that ball, and I think he might have been able to get Campana if he had fielded it cleanly. As it is, it's an error. Both guys safe. 2 on for Ramirez.
And I'm sure Bruce Bochy would rather his second baseman just get an out on this play. You can see Bill Hall just tried to stretch out like a first baseman, take the grounder, and throw on to first. Probably a little bit too much to do. Just make sure you get an out somewhere when your team has an 8-run lead in the ball game. Another opportunity for Ramirez, who had runners on the corners back in that 3rd inning, struck out on a high fastball from Ryan Vogelsong. Another chance here to maybe cash in a run or 2.
Kind of says it all right there.
No, just the fact that the Giants have had 13 runners, or had 13 at bats with runners in scoring position, pretty much says it all.
I think that batting average with runners in scoring position, that's tomahawked high in the air to center, and it'll be playable as Rowan hauls it in. Campana will advance to 3rd. I think, Bob, the average with runners in scoring position can be way overrated. I think you hit it on the head. If you have a lot of opportunities with men in scoring position, that's just as important, because if you go 3 for 15 but come up with 2 or 3 big hits as opposed to 1 for 3, the 3 for 13 probably is a better day. You're going to score more runs, even though one team hits 333 and the other team hits 200. Left on base can be very deceiving. Sometimes it's missed chances. Other times it's just piling up so many base runners they all can't score. The Giants have left more on than the Cubs today, and they lead by 8. And as you always say, somebody has to make the outs. The Giants have the worst batting average in the entire NL, under 220 with runners in scoring position. Not today.
Go figure. The funny thing in talking to the Giants players and coaches before the ball game today, they know how anemic they are offensively and with runners in scoring position, with whatever, runners on base. They know that they're not having a good year offensively. But the ointment to that is they're still winning. You know, and I'm sure they'd like to think that at some point this season, and it may be today, they're going to break out of their offensive doldrums and start to score more runs. But in the meantime, they know they're still going to win because their pitching is good enough. They play solid defense. Because they are such an anemic offensive ball club, they've learned how to take advantage of every runner they get on base. And if they do continue to swing the bats the way they have here today, look for the Giants to just get up and run away from that division.
Well, they know they're going to pitch. That's kind of a given. And I guess offensively, they're not going to be worse than they've been. They know Posey's not coming back. They just have to find a way to get through it.
I think certainly Giants fans and maybe some people within the Giants organization are holding out hope that maybe Posey could be back for a possible postseason run. We're told that he's going to spend 2 months in a cast, another month on crutches after that before he can even think about beginning any kind of a rehabilitation assignment. So I guess there is an outside chance they would get their catcher back, but certainly doesn't look good.
Dave Righetti in his 12th year as a Giants pitching coach out to the mound. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Runs per game, they're right at the bottom, but ERA, they're right near the top.
Low stolen base totals because they don't have much speed on the roster. Low home run totals because their home ballpark does not lend itself to the long ball very well. But man, can they pitch.
A chance to get back into this game with one big swing here as Soriano swings and fouls back on a breaking ball. 4 career grand slams for Alfonso Soriano. Cubs have been out grand slammed this year 4-0. Well, the other part of this, Bob, and this is something you cannot quantify, and that is they're the defending champs. Does that in any way play into a 22-11 1-run decision record?
Absolutely. Certainly they found ways to win ball games last year under similar circumstances.
Helps to have a closer like Brian Wilson, that's for sure. It's a big part of it. Their bullpen has been lights out, particularly this month. A 1-2 low and outside. Picture perfect afternoon weather-wise. Coming in out of the northwest, and it's been an offensive day for the visitors. Cubs have them loaded here in the 5th. Just missed. Full count, 3-2. There go the runners, and he walked in a run. Much more patient Alfonso Soriano here lately. 7 walks now over his last 6 games.
You see from pitch tracks, Vogelsong was just not willing to throw much over the heart of the plate. One good pitch to hit that entire sequence for Soriano. Takes the walk. Drives in a run.
11-4. Blake DeWitt with 3 on. Ball 1. Off the outer edge of the zone. Giants have a right-hander up, Santiago Casilla. Their bullpen coach looking on, Mark Gardner. One and 2. So he's.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Caught both corners.
Look at this. It's a 1-2 count. There has not been a pitch in the zone yet. Man, I can't hardly watch this anymore. This has just been atrocious this season.
Ted Barrett behind the plate today. DeWitt bounces toward right. It's going to get off the glove of Bill Hall, and 2 runs will score. 11-6. Been a rough inning on defense for Bill Hall.
It looked like a pretty routine grounder. A few steps to Bill Hall's left. He's kind of got caught in between hops there. It's by him into right field. Good base running that time by Pena to chug around and score from second base on what appeared to be the third out of the inning.
Number 55, Corey Hill.
First and third. Still waiting on a scoring decision. Fastball strike. I think it's an error.
I think so too.
If it is an error, still no hits in the inning, and the Cubs have scored 3 times. And it would be the second error already on Bill Hall this 5th inning. Stand corrected. It's a base hit. 2 RBIs for Blake DeWitt.
But right now, you don't care if they're hits or errors. Just get guys on that plate. Slowly creep back into this ball game.
There's a 36th pitch of the inning for Vogelsong, 1-2. Bochy probably willing to go a little longer with his starter today with his big lead, and guy coming off the DL pitching in game 2. Giants bullpen rested, however, because they were off yesterday. Swing and a miss. He got him on the high fastball to end the inning, but the Cubs get 3 and trail by 5.
And to Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers for their support of local youth baseball leagues. Through the Chevy Youth Baseball Program, the local Chevrolet dealers are supporting over 35,000 young ball players in their communities. From From the big leagues to the youth leagues, Chevy is truly the official vehicle of baseball. That's what you call bunching your outfielders right there.
How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Pablo Sandoval leading off the 6th. He led off the 5th with a base hit as the Giants would score 5 times. The Cubs came back with 3 unearned runs in the bottom of the inning. One and two on Sandoval, batting left-handed for the first time today. Tailing fastball at 95 is wide. Full count 3-2 with Pat Burrell on deck. Big day for Burrell. 3 hits, 3 RBIs, and a home run. He got him. Stroll through the home of the Chicago Cubs. Get an insider's look at more than 97 years of history in this legendary ballpark. Guided tours may include visits to the press box, clubhouses, and dugouts, as well as a chance to actually step on the field. For more info or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Tour sizes are limited and sell out fast, so get your tickets today. Big swing by Burrell. He fouled it back. 0-2 the count. Tough day for Ryan Vogelsong, even though he has a 5-run lead. Power slider at 88. 2-2. Pat Burrell was the #1 overall pick in 1998. Taken by the Phillies to the University of Miami. Born in Arkansas, went to prep school in San Jose, California. The backpedaling Starlin Castro waving off the outfielders. With 2 away, it'll be Bill Hall. Not quite as sharp today, but his offense has given him a ton of support. He started the day, Vogelsong did, a little shy of qualifying for the ERA lead in the National League, and he needed 7 1/3 innings today to be on that list. Stat packet tomorrow. I don't think he's going to get to 7 1/3. Got to play. Bob, Jose Guillen played 42 games with the Giants last year. I'm terrible with uniform numbers, but I remember that he wore number 6 for the Giants. Don't ask me why or how. I see Bill Hall, and Guillen wore 6 in a lot of different places.
Right.
But I see 6 in a Giants jersey, and I, for whatever reason, think of Jose Guillen.
Well, most Giants fans would think of Robbie Thompson, an all-star second baseman. If it's Jose Guillen, it's Jose Guillen. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. I have a lot of baseball buddies who are just at a steel trap in terms of uniform numbers. You give them a number, they can tell you every Cub who wore that number. One and two. You wore 15 in the better part of your career, but did you not wear 19 at the end?
When I came back to the Giants,
who wore 15?
A utility infielder by the name of Greg Litton.
Okay.
Had number 15 when I initially came back to the Giants, and
you couldn't bribe him?
Couldn't afford a Rolex, so he kept number 15, and I wore number 19 for a while. Ultimately, we ended up switching, and I got my number 15 back, but when I came back to the Giants, I believe we were in the midst of a road trip, and it was too hard for the clubby to make the change at that time, so I wore number 19 briefly.
Here next pitcher, Chris Stewart.
2-out hit for Hall, and it's Chris Stewart. Bill Hall got a big jump. He's going to take second base without a throw from Coy Hill. Former Cub Sean Dunston. It's high. 2-1. Racy.
Mike Fontenot.
Matt Garza. Currently wears 17. And ball 4. Nate Scherholtz is going to hit for the starter Vogelsong.
A small thing in the grand scheme of things, but this is exactly what Bruce Bochy was hoping for, to get down to that 9 spot in the lineup so he could pinch hit for his starting pitcher. Had Stewart made the last out of the inning, you either have to make a double switch if you want to bring that pitcher into the ball game, or let your relief pitcher take an at bat to lead off the next inning. So by getting down to that 9 spot, made it a little bit easier for the Giants here.
Ladies and gentlemen, pitching for the Giants, number 12, Nate Scherholtz.
Well, neither manager got as much out of the starting pitchers as both Bruce Bochy and Mike Quade wanted to. Doug Davis went just 4 1/3 Vogelsong with the minimum 5 to qualify for the win. Kind of looks like Chris Carpenter will be used in game 1. Probably won't be used in game 2. It's James Russell up in the Cubs bullpen. Do you have any sort of quantifiable rule of thumb for doubleheaders in terms of relievers and innings pitched, or number of pitches used? There was a cutoff for game 2?
Not really. It was more of a subjective thing. I was fortunate to have a couple of relief pitchers that could pitch in both games of a doubleheader. You know, as long as you didn't overextend them as far as the pitch count goes. We had Miguel Batista, who at the time, he could throw every day. And Mike Myers, a left-hander, same way. He pitched both ends of a doubleheader, multiple innings if necessary. But the Cubs aren't really equipped that way in their bullpen. I don't know certainly if it would be advisable or wise to ask a guy like Carpenter to throw the pitches he has here in game 1 and then try to bring him back in game 2. So we'll have to see how Mike Quade plays it the rest of the afternoon.
And remember, they're 1 short in the bullpen because Rodrigo Lopez pulled out of the long man's role. Actually, he's pitched short a little bit lately, but he's going to start game 2. And while anything's possible, you're not expecting 6 or 7 innings out of Lopez. Two and two.
Well, the one thing you did try to do, if you had a stretch of the season like the Cubs are in right now, without any off days, with a makeup doubleheader here today, when you know it's going to be a little bit taxing on your pitching staff, make sure you keep a close eye on your AAA pitching staff and see where guys are scheduled to throw.
Base hit out into right center. Here comes a throw toward the plate. It's going to be cut off as Bill Hall scores. This 2-out rally results in the 12th Giants run.
A groove fastball even at 97 after seeing a few of them. Shearholt's able to turn up the notch just a little bit and whack that ball into right field for another RBI.
Giants have tied their season high with these 12 runs. They have tied their season high with 16 hits. 12 runs, 16 hits. At St. Louis in early June. The runs on June 2nd, the hits on June 1st. Rainbow out to right. This is a tough sun time for Fukudome. Eyes watering and makes a grab for the final out. They add a run. It's now 12-6 San Fran. day for the Giants. Aaron Rowan from the leadoff spot has reached 3 times, including a bases clearing double in the 5th inning. Pat Burrell also with a big day. The Cubs getting home runs in the 2nd inning from Carlos Pena, who's been hot, and Coy Hill, his 2nd of the year. Visit your local Honda dealer today to test drive the 2011 Honda Cross Tour, available with 4-wheel drive. Righty Santiago Casilla, first Giant out of the bullpen.
Doesn't give up a lot of base hits. He will walk batters from time to time. Started the season on the disabled list. He's been really good since returning to action.
Giants bullpen with a National League best 18 wins and 27 saves. And they have a Major League leading 1.70 ERA this month. Reed Johnson will bat for Chris Carpenter, and he takes a strike.
When you talk about the Giants, it's easy to focus on Matt Cain and Tim Lincecum and Ryan Vogelsong having a great year. Their fine closer Brian Wilson. But man, these guys in the middle for the Giants in that bullpen have really been getting it done.
Swing and a miss at a slider. Brian Wilson. And the beard. I still don't think he's ever admitted that he actually colors the beard.
Well, he doesn't have to admit it, but
I mean, look at his hair and look at his beard. You tell me. Really has taken on a life of its own, hasn't it?
It seems like relievers are more prone to quirky tendencies or unusual facial hair or some odd things that they do out there on the field, and Brian Wilson follows a long line of quirky closers.
One and two on Johnson. Fly out to Rowan in center for the out. You've probably seen Keenan Cahill, who's from Elmhurst, Illinois. He likes to lip sync to popular music, and he's had a few celebrities join him, including recently Brian Wilson.
There he is.
Should have gotten Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys to join him too. Cody Ross eventually joins the mix. Pretty cool. So the WGN Morning News crew joined Keenan for a video recently as well. I want to say the original video on YouTube that Keenan made popular was him lip syncing to Katy Perry's Teenage Dream. There's Lucille, Cody Ross.
Usually see Cody Ross in that video because he's as country as they get. Growing up as a young boy, he wanted to be a rodeo clown. I guess the opportunity to be a YouTube sensation is just too much to pass up, even for a country boy.
Song we just saw, Dynamite, by Teo Cruz. And you'll hear that one a little later in the fan cam. I certainly hope Keenan just wore the jersey just because, you know, the Giants guys joined him, but that he roots for the Cubs otherwise. Foul tip, strike 3. Send Fukudome back to the dugout. 2 down. It's Tony Campana. You've put up a few of those lip syncing videos on YouTube, haven't you?
Oh, I don't
haven't
lip sync.
found them yet. I don't know what your username is.
I sing them. I'm legit. I don't lip sync.
Keenan sings a few too.
I think I've been flagged as inappropriate on YouTube. Look, you see, nobody on base, pitching out of the set position, which a lot of relief pitchers do. It takes a long time to get his mind right before he's ready to deliver that next pitch to the hitter. Can anticipate about a 15-minute at bat when Carlos Pena gets up there.
It'll be a little busy around the ballpark in about an hour. And we're only in the 6th inning, but it's a split admission doubleheader. You see, there'll be a fair amount of fans here at Game 1 who will be back for Game 2. Kind of like when you're waiting in line for the 9 o'clock movie after the 7 o'clock show lets out. Campana's been on 3 times. Biggest difference there, though, Bob, is you're not going to see the same movie twice when it comes to a Major League Baseball game.
Up to this point, we certainly hope not. Well, I'll tell you, the scheduled doubleheader back in the day, of course, that's a long gone thing where you actually paid one admission and got to see 2 ball games. That was quite the treat. I was growing up. There weren't a lot of scheduled doubleheaders, but anytime there was, we jumped in the car and took full advantage of that. Shooting up to Cleveland or down to Cincinnati or over to Pittsburgh. Such a doubleheader. Are you kidding me? 2 ball games in one day? Better than that.
Well, Giants were one of the teams in the 80s that would schedule more than others. And you often had the twine night doubleheader that would start at 5:30. I remember in Detroit they started them that late. Castro strikes out. And the 6th inning is in the books. All Giants here in Game 1.
came to dance, 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 dance. I hit the floor cause that's my plans, 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 plans. I'm wearing all my favorite brands, 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 brands. Give me some space for both my hands, 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 hands. You, cause it goes on and on and on. And it goes on and on and on. Yeah, I throw my hands up in the air sometimes, saying, ayo, gotta.
Dynamite. That's Teo Cruz, and that's our Bud fan cam. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Bob was lip syncing in the booth. We just didn't have a shot of him. Reed Johnson stays in. James Russell goes into Tony Campana's spot, which is a 2-hole. Tejada fouls off nothing in 2. Future Hall of Fame hockey defenseman Chris Chelios will conduct the stretch coming up. Played in the NHL till he was 48. Fly ball to deep left. Soriano. One away.
First baseman Aubrey Huff.
Second straight inning, and the only 2 innings in which the Cubs pitching staff has retired the Giants leadoff man. Slider in for a strike on Aubrey Huff.
Double switch with James Russell entering the ball game just to buy a couple extra spots in that batting order. You definitely want James Russell to go multiple innings in this ball game here, and the further away you can keep him from the plate, the better. So Mike Whitey goes with the double switch, leaving Reed Johnson in center field in that 9 spot in the lineup and inserting James Russell into the 2-hole where Tony Campana was hitting.
Carlos Pena makes a grab in foul territory. Oh, a newborn Cubs fan. The newborn fan club is the perfect gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo announcing the birth on the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, Cubs baby stocking cap, and a Cubs Rookie of the Year onesie. Perfect for parents and friends alike. Visit Cubs.com for more information and to sign up today. Two 2-0 to Cody Ross. Blackhawks captain Chris Chelios coming up with a stretch. Broken bat fly ball. Soriano will get it on a bounce. And the throw to second, a little offline. Ross able to keep his hand on second.
Third baseman Pablo Sandoval.
Season high in hits for the Giants. 17.
You never know, this Giants ball club has been struggling offensively pretty much since opening day by watching this onslaught today. Everybody in the lineup swinging the bats. They've hit some balls hard. They've hit some balls soft. They all seem to be finding holes.
Guy who would love to be involved right now but isn't is former Cub Mark DeRosa. Surgically repaired left wrist, continuing to give him problems.
But we've talked about it many times in the past, referring back to Derek Lee's wrist injury. It just always seems like the hand and the wrist area take a lot longer to recover from than you anticipate.
Castro out with Soriano. It'll be the left fielder for the grab. Chris Chelios with the stretch.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, former Blackhawk great Chris Chelios.
All right, Chicago. First of all, I want to wish John Cusack, Chicago's own, a happy birthday. And Keith Magnuson and Bob Probert's families, all the best. We're always thinking of you. Okay, Chicago, let me hear you. A one, a two, a three. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the... If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's... You're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs here, guys. I love you, Chicago. Thank you.
Back here in the bottom of the seventh, always great to see Chris Chelios, former Blackhawk great, future Hall of Famer, and good timing. The Hall of Fame today announcing the 2011 inductees, and going into the Hall of Fame is Ramirez lifts one into left center, and that'll be a base hit. Eddie Belfour, Doug Gilmour, Mark Howe, and Joe Newendike.
Yeah, great. I mean, obviously I played against all of them, played with Eddie, Doug Gilmour, and you know, it's great to see over the past few years some of the guys that I've played with being inducted, and all obviously worthy of it. And it's a great honor. I've been to two of them now, and I enjoyed it.
How often did you lace up the skates this past winter, your first year and forever that you didn't play organized hockey?
You know what? Quite a bit. I was in Grand Rapids working with that team, obviously with the job in Detroit, but I've taken a liking to women's hockey, and my daughter's playing, so. Like 5-6 times a week, which was never thought I would, but it's been great. You know, the first year out, it's been pretty good.
You were always maybe the hardest worker off the ice in hockey, and I would imagine that, and you look great, that didn't change once you retired, that you just don't kick your feet up every day.
No, I mean, I got two boys my age, or not my age, I should say, but college, going to Michigan State, and they see me working out. It's pretty tough for them to not work out themselves, so I'm trying to lead by example. And I actually have a daughter going to Northwestern next year playing women's lacrosse, and congratulations to their team again, and Kelly Amante for what they've been doing over the past 10 years. But no, it's I think it'd be crazy. I can't sit in a couch. I don't ADD, whatever it is.
One strike on Carlos Pena. You've got a milestone birthday coming up in January. You'd never know it again. I mean, you played until you were 48. And did you have any regrets when you eventually did hang him up? And we talked to you really when you made that decision last year.
No, I always knew people the last 4 or 5 years. I knew when it was time to retire. I think the biggest thing was not, it's not so much that I had to be a top caliber player, just not hurting the team, not embarrassing myself for the team. And I think, my last shift actually against the Chicago Blackhawks in the NHL was a really good one in the playoffs. So at least I get to sleep on that one. No, it's been great. And, the fact that I'm still, working with the team, it makes the transition a lot easier.
Do you ever get the urge when you're walking down the street to just slam somebody up against a building? Like you used to check them into the glass?
You know what? Just the people in Chicago who keep booing. I don't get it. I mean, but no, everybody's been great with me. The fact that I'm from Chicago, sooner or later they're going to have to forgive me for the Detroit move. I hope, sooner than later because, like I said, I spend a lot of time in Chicago. And at the end of the day, everybody's really gracious and nice to me. You guys in Chicago at the Cubs games and, coming back here, give a real warm welcome.
By the way, the record, Gordie Howe played until he was 52. I would have a hard time believing that'll ever be broken, but I suppose you never know.
No, I don't think so. I might have been the only one other crazy enough to try and play until I was 50. But, no, I mean, and the good thing is it was a Detroit player in Gordie, and I get to see him. Which is great. I mean, I grew up watching Bobby Hull, Stan Mikita, and, the original 6 teams, and I was fortunate enough to play for 3 of them and get to know all those players.
3-2 on Carlos Pena, nobody out. And the Cubs trail 12-6 here in the 7th. Should also give a little pop for the Chicago Wolves. You played for them. And,
they're big change for them this year. They're going to be Vancouver's affiliate, maybe. Build up a little rivalry with Rockford and them. But yeah, I had a great year. Enjoyed it. Don Levin, great owner. He had a good thing. He's had a good thing going there for a lot of years.
A heck of a dig there by Aubrey Huff on that throw by Sandoval as they barely get Carlos Pena.
Now that had a chance to be a train wreck right there. You've got the third baseman Sandoval playing in that exaggerated shift. Actually cuts in front of his shortstop Miguel Tejada to make the play. And Aubrey Huff, a converted outfielder, makes a nice play over there at first to get the out.
All right, we don't want to give away all your secrets, Chris, because you have superpowers having played in the NHL forever. But let's tally up the damage over the course of your career. How many teeth did you lose?
You know what? It's amazing. We were just talking about that the other day. When I was 18 years old playing in Moose Jaw, I got my first tooth knocked out. And I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be tough. And then 28 years later, I managed to only lose that one tooth. And then the sad story is I went to the dentist the other day, and he grinded down my real teeth because I was having such problems with sensitivity with hot and cold. And he I almost started crying when I looked in the mirror when he grinded down my real teeth and put in these 2 fake ones. So, but no, I did pretty good in that area.
Few scars, but add to the character.
Yeah.
And you have any good stories in terms of the scars? That ball was foul. Sandoval just let it go, and it got by 3rd foul.
You know what? I don't, because the problem is I could name every one. This was done by my own teammate Craig Ludwig on my cheek.
Okay.
My nose was done by my own teammate Brian Muir. And my mouth was done by Dirk Graham, my own teammate. So there's no good stories. They were all done by my own guys in warm-up or some kind of stupid, whatever happened. But I chased one guy around the ice, thought he did it, Keith Kachuk. And then I found out in the middle when I was getting stitched up in the middle of the periods that it was my own guy. So.
And did you had to wear a visor with the Wolves, right?
No,
I did.
Is
that the only time you did?
Well, college. I wore a mask in college, but that wasn't a problem. The referees, because I guess I got grandfathered in, I was allowed to wear it, barely over my eyes, so it wasn't an issue.
2-2 on Alfonso Soriano. Yeah, you were never afraid to stick your nose into the scrum in the corner.
Yeah, but look at my nose now.
But like you said, it wasn't from an opponent.
You ought to see the other guy, though.
Well, I didn't tell you about the broken ones. Those were. But
yeah, how many bones did you break if you could add it up?
That I can't. I would never be able to tell you. If I can, for a second, I just want to say thank you to Eddie Vedder's in town, doing a couple shows at the Chicago Theater, and yesterday at Stanley's we did a fundraiser, raised about $170,000. And with the help from Eddie and the donations and the guitars and the tickets, what a great night we had. And Mary Beth, she runs my tournament. She's done my golf tournament. Thank you, Mary Beth and Kenny, for all your efforts, because I've been doing that charity golf tournament probably 15 years, and we decided, because I hate golf, I got to tell you, and this was so much easier. So thank you, Eddie, for all your your donations and everything you do.
We'll have Eddie in the booth on Thursday.
Yeah.
He will sing with Jose Cardinal. He grew up with him, and that will be a base hit. And Ramirez will come around and score. Blake DeWitt makes it 12-7. He has 3 RBIs.
This game's still just close enough, huh? Just keep...
Not over yet. Not on a day like this.
No.
We saw you hanging down there in the front row by the Cubs dugout with your buddy John Cusack.
Yeah, another Chicago native from Evanston. Great career, obviously. Johnny's been doing it since he was 16, and I know his family's in town. It's his birthday today, so they're all planning on going out for dinner tonight. But good friend. He loves baseball. Obviously I'm a South Sider, so I got that Sox Cubs thing going. No one understands that you can cheer for both, but I have been for a long time.
Going to have a double switch as Bruce Bochy comes out and will make a change. Chris Chelios, always a pleasure to see you. Glad you're enjoying retirement somewhat as you're working with the Red Wings front office, but always great to see you back in your hometown.
Thank you very much. Thanks, you guys. Great seeing you guys too.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay.
We'll be back. Left-hander Jeremy Affeldt will take over on the mound. Brandon Crawford into play short. Miguel Tejada moves from short to third. Sandoval out. That's where the pitcher's spot will be, as switch hitting Coy Hill will bat right-handed. Thanks to Chris Chelios for stopping by. Cubs with a run in, still trailing by 5 here in the 7th. Pop fly center field. Aaron Rowan underneath. Cubs will settle for 1. On 2 hits, 1 left. Off to the 8th from Wrigley. Giants 12, Cubs 7. season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Chicago Cubs game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Cubs.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. 19 runs on a combined 25 hits. Pat Burrell with a big day. 3 hits, 3 RBIs, 2 runs. As he faces James Russell, swing and a miss to start the 8th. Burrell almost lost his batting helmet on that swing.
Pitch must have caught a piece of Burrell's bat right there. You clearly see the indication by Ted Barrett. The home plate umpire held up his left hand and then kind of chopped his right hand across it. That's an indication that it was a foul tip. Where those are frustrating. You check your swing and the ball just gets a piece of the bat.
He got him on a curveball.
Perfectly executed curveball, drops it right on that outside corner, starts it over in the left-handed batter's box, ends up pretty much right in the middle of the zone at the knees.
Tough break for the Indians. Shin-Soo Choo missed up to 2.5 months. And left thumb surgery today. After the break of that thumb. That was Friday night against the Giants in San Francisco.
Giants third base coach Tim Flannery played for the Padres back in his playing days. An accomplished musician, Len. I know you know this. He's released 10 albums. He's played with the likes of Jimmy Buffett, Willie Nelson, Jackson Brown, Bruce Hornsby, Linda Ronstadt. I was talking to him about music before the game. He actually played a gig right up the street at the Uncommon Ground not too long ago.
That's a great place.
Yeah, he has a lot of friends in the music industry, obviously, as Kosuke Fukudome squares up and makes the catch out in right field. And he was invited to come along and be the opening act for a friend of his who was touring around the Midwest playing some smaller venues, and had a chance to play over at the Uncommon Ground. He loves the music scene here in Chicago.
We're told he's a big fan too. Chris Stewart looks at a strike. One and one the count. Stewart's been on 3 times. 1-2.
One of his CDs, Highway Songs.
What's he playing there?
Not quite sure. A lot of his music, very much an Irish tilt to it.
James Russell works the first 1-2-3 inning by a Cubs pitcher in this game. Andres Torres will come in and play center. Pushes Aaron Rowan over to left. Pat Burrell is out. Reed Johnson, who pinch hit in the 6th, stayed into play center, will lead off the Cubs 8th. 12-7 San Francisco.
Reed hit the ball hard back in the 6th. A line drive to center field, unfortunately right at Aaron Rowan, who was manning center at the time.
Affeldt filling in for Brian Wilson on Sunday night against Cleveland. 2 scoreless innings, 5 strikeouts, and got the save. Yeah, looks like Reed Johnson. I got the same chin music. Fastball at 94, 1-1.
Perhaps a little bit more chin, but very similar look.
Yeah, that's an interesting pitch against a guy who crowds the plate, because Reed really moved off the plate away from that pitch, but it wasn't that far inside. So you can kind of sell it.
Well, and that's why he's not afraid to stand right on top of the plate, even though Affeldt came inside with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Reed Johnson quick enough to get the barrel of the bat on it. Unfortunately, foul that time. That's 94 right on the inside corner, and Reed buggy whips that ball down the third base line.
Foul pop-up, and no play for Huff. $39,157 the paid attendance for this makeup game. And again, we have game 2 coming up a little later.
We're sneaking up on 4:30 here at Wrigley Field. That's about the time the teams come out, the pitchers come out rather, to take batting practice before a night game.
I don't think the Cubs will take BP in between games. And the Giants hit before game 1, so they probably won't hit either.
I would imagine there'll be a few guys from each team that make their way down to the batting cage underneath the right field bleachers between games. Some of the guys maybe that didn't get at bats in game 1, they're down there just to break a little bit of a sweat, get loose for game 2.
Pulled on the ground at third. Miguel Tejada makes the play. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Right fielder, Kosuke Fukudome.
Glenn and Bob on a WGN crew from beautiful Wrigley Field. Ramon Ramirez playing catch in the visiting bullpen. Kosuke bats lefty against lefty, and he taps one on the ground to Huff. That'll be 3 unassisted. With 2 gone, Jeff Baker will bat for James Russell, who was by far the most effective Cub pitcher over the first 8 innings. 2 scoreless innings, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. see John Grabo in the ninth.
And depending on how much John Grabo has to throw to get out of that ninth inning, Mike Quaddy would have Jeff Samardzic, Carlos Marmol, and Sean Marshall available for Game 2 work out of the bullpen, and maybe one of the guys who did pitch in Game 1. It remains to be seen how they feel between games. Maybe get a little treatment in the Cubs training room. But definitely we'll have 3 fresh arms available out of the bullpen for Game 2.
You got big plans for between games?
No. You?
I'll be here getting ready for Game 2.
Sounds like a game plan.
Yeah.
Get caught up on some fan mail.
Well, you've got boxes of unopened mail. You have people for that, right?
Yeah, right. We have a small box of fan mail. It's kind of interesting. Fans might find it interesting. You know, you go into any major league clubhouse and every guy gets fan mail. But the superstars, they don't even have a slot in the mailbox. They have a box on the floor that's the size of a packing crate. You know, the Buster Posies of the world and the Tim Lincecums, guys like that, they get boxes and boxes of fan mail, whereas, you know, maybe the 25th man on the roster or the 5th outfielder on the team, they might get a couple of requests every homestand. And I mentioned it yesterday, Len. Speaking of fan mail, I'd like to thank once again Janice Bouchard from Rolling Meadows, Illinois. Heard us talking about the Tito Francona fan club, of which I was the vice president when I was 10 years old. And she sent me a beautiful father-son baseball card with Tito Francona and Terry Francona, autographed by both of the Franconas. I'm very, very proud of this, so I'd like to thank Janice Bouchard once again.
That's awesome. Crawford, the shortstop, makes the play. It's Brandon Crawford. And the Cubs go down quietly in the 8th. o'clock, the WGN News with Mark Sapelsa, Lourdes Duarte, and Tom Skilling. Left-hander John Grable. Facing the shortstop Brandon Crawford. Left-handed hitter. Struggle for Crawford offensively. Although in his major league debut at Milwaukee a month and a day ago, he hit a game-winning grand slam. It's a pretty good debut. Just 2 for his last 25. He came up from High A San Jose on May 26th. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Somebody's got a really big pina colada over there.
Rowan swings at the first one, and it'll be Reed Johnson with a waist-high basket-like catch. 2 quick outs.
Shortstop number 10, Miguel Tejada.
Tejada with a couple of hits. Big day for the Giants offense. Rowan, Tejada, Ross, Sandoval, Burrell, Stewart, all with at least 2 hits. Burrell had 3. That young Cub fan's just happy to be at the ballpark on a day like this.
Feet up. Life's good.
Oh. Deep to left, Miguel Tejada with a home run. 13-7.
That's some service right there. You hit a home run into the left field bleachers, and before you get back to the dugout, the home run ball is there waiting on you. Absolutely crushed. Once again, the wind blowing from the left field corner to the right field corner, but we've seen 2 missiles hit the left field today right through the wind.
Each team with a couple of home runs. Pena and Hill for the Cubs. Burrell and now Tejada for the Giants. So a new season high in runs and hits for the Giants. Three and 1 on Aubrey Huff. Rowan with 3 RBIs, Tejada with 1. Huff has a couple. Sandoval's knocked in 1. Burrell 3. Stewart and Scherholtz with RBIs. Reed Johnson in the middle of the track makes a catch, and the inning is finally over. 2-out homer by Tejada, and it's 13-7. You add up the 5 previous at bats today, and that stretched out to 225 at bats between home runs. Here's Starlin Castro against Ramon Ramirez to start the bottom of the 9th. Castro has an 11-game hitting streak on the line. Crawford ranging to his left. Quick release. And the out.
Time to start a new one.
Ramos with 2 hits and 4 tries. He has scored 2 runs.
Both base hits leading off innings. Came around to score later. 2 at bats with runners on base. Wasn't able to come through. Struck out in the 3rd inning with runners at the corner. Flied out to center in the 5th with 2 men on.
I got to say, I pulled a pretty veteran move today with 2 games on 2 different stations. I got the WGN vest, got the other shirt on for game 2, whereas you will have to change your shirt. And that's a good 19 seconds of your life you're never going to get back.
I enjoy changing shirts. I may not wear a shirt for game 2. How's that?
Ooh. Okay. The guy and every baseball fan out there would prefer that you do. Why don't you see if you can borrow Alexandria Mills' Cubs jersey from yesterday? We could go with that look. Crawford again. 2 away. Stay tuned. Our Chicago area viewers will catch the WGN News at 5 o'clock. Mark Sapelsa, Lourdes Duarte, and Tom Skilling are standing by. Sounds like it's going to heat up later this week.
I believe it's supposed to get up into the 90s this weekend for the Crosstown Classic. And that increased temperature, you'd have to assume that the winds are going to be blowing out. Should make for a very interesting 3-game set with the Sox.
Last chance now. It's Carlos Pena with 2 gone. Barry Zito and Rodrigo Lopez in game 2 later tonight. Busy weekend of Cubs baseball here on WGN, and it actually starts tomorrow night. We'll have game 3, 7 o'clock. Final game of this series, 1 o'clock for the leadoff man on Thursday. Then we'll hit the air at 12:30. Get you set for the Cubs hosting the White Sox on Friday. Game 3 of that series will also be here on WGN. That is an error.
Sure
Mark
is.
Ripperger, the first base umpire, right through the 5-hole.
There's a reason he's umpiring. He used to play second base, and that happened far too often. Yeah, this is one you just like to go in between games and shower it off and start again. This started off as a very bad day against a team that had been struggling offensively. You knew they were going to break out at some point. You just hoped it wasn't while they were here with this 4-game set. But the Giants came out hacking early.
It's going to be charged by Bill Hall. And the Cubs go down 1-2-3 in the ninth. The Giants win the opener of this day-night doubleheader. The final score, the Giants 13, the Cubs 7.